Yo, what's good everyone? This is Nathan Cross checking in, and today's video was actually based on a conversation, or a consultation that I had about 2 to 3 weeks ago with a group of women who actually needed some guidance and had some questions on their fitness journey. And one of the main issues that actually came up is something that they didn't know about, and this is something actually a lot of people that aren't really sure about or have no idea about, and this is the fact that there's a primary distinction, actually many distinctions, between training shoes and running shoes. Now, regardless of whether you're going to be dealing with training shoes or running shoes from the same brand or a multitude of different brands, they're all going to be different in their own respect. The two shoes featured in this video are the Nike Metcon 2s, representing our training shoes, and the Nike Zoom Structure 18s, representing our running shoes. Now the thing is, if you like running for the long haul, 3Ks, 5Ks, 10Ks, talking about marathons, get shoes that'll serve that purpose. Just based on appearance, you can see the difference in support that each shoe will provide. Now the Zoom Structure 18s have a dual density system where on the interior and lateral side there's a softer Cushlon foam, and on the medial side a higher density Phylon foam for some good support. And on the, actually on the medial side of the shoe as well, there's a third density right underneath the arch. The Nike Metcon 2s also have a dual density foam for stability and cushioning. Now, I'm personally not sure what those foams are particularly, but as you can see, the Metcon 2s training shoes are a lot more flat to the ground, and something with training shoes, you're going to be running, cutting, jumping, lifting weights, doing different things, being as dynamic as possible in those shoes. So they're going to be flat. You're going to have the maximum amount of support in the heel, especially for weightlifting, meaning, that part of the shoe, that part of the midsole is going to be more dense than what you'd feel in the midsole towards the upper portion, and that I can definitely feel that difference going from one step to the next. I feel a significant amount of energy return, especially in the runs, whether it be sprinting or just a middle distant run. Now, by default, you can generally make the guess that, the thicker the midsole of the shoe is, the more support or cushioning you may get, but it's not always going to be the case. Sometimes when you got a lot more cushioning in the shoe, you might want to lose out on support. And when I talk about cushioning, I'm really referring to what you've got, what kind of text in the insole, or sometimes in the midsole itself. Now, when you see that shoes always have a thicker midsole, it's always important to do your research, what kind of technology they got in there, whether, they're dealing with a really dense foam. You may deal with a lot more firmness, so you're not always going to have a very cushioned ride all the way through. But even with thickness, it doesn't always mean that's going to be hella firm, because sometimes you've got shoes with some seriously thin midsoles and those are still pretty firm too, but even then you're going to have quite a bit of ground feel. And sometimes you're going to have shoes with thin midsoles with a lot of cushioning. A really good example is another shoe that I really love to run in is the Under Armour Spine Clutch Fit. And those shoes, the Micro G midsole is pretty thin, and the Spine technology, awesome, but the 4D foam insole, that's just out of this world, just the way that it's felt over the past few years. Ultimately, your overall level of comfort and performance probably will vary depending on which shoes you're wearing. If you're going to consistently deadlift and squat in Nike Frees, then if you're comfortable with that, go ahead, but they're not always going to be the most supportive shoes. You need shoes that are designed for weightlifting, for that type of training, a much firmer heel, a reinforced heel cup or heel counter, something of that nature, maybe something with more defined support over the upper or the bridge of your foot. Some type of shoe specifically for your performance, something that's more defined and specialized for what you do. But at the end of the day, all of these things are just considerations, things that I've come across over the past few years, things that I've learned, and things that people don't know, things that could potentially help to improve your overall performance.